Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has led Kenyans in celebrating the life of the late President Mwai Kibaki in a state funeral service that was held at Nyayo Stadium. And the Archbishop Anthony Mucheria, who was presiding over the funeral service, had asked politicians to refrain from political rhetoric and instead celebrate the life and time of Kibaki. But two individuals, the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto and the ODM leader Raila Ruto Odinga, who actually happened to be the presidential candidates in this election, the serious ones, decided to defy the bishop order. Instead, these two went further to talk about politics. And Raila Odinga, in his question, he was wondering, in an analogy whereby a bishop has been given a chance to give eulogy to a deacon, and in circumvent, he's not supposed to speak about the deacon belief and religion. And so to Mwai Kibaki, who was a politician, that he found it so hard to avoid speaking about what Kibaki believed in and what he practiced. And so as a politician, there was no way he was going to avoid to speak about politics, because that is what Kibaki practiced. And this is what Raila said about Kibaki, that Kibaki was a gentleman, a man of conviction, he loved perfection, he was an enemy of corruption. According to Raila Odinga, that nobody was dispensable when it comes to the issue of corruption under Kibaki. So you can understand where Raila was heading with this message of corruption, because we know Raila Odinga has always threatened to jail those people who have been involved in corruption just in case he becomes the president. And so Raila is also an enemy of corruption. So Raila used that chance to throw jabs at William Samoei Ruto. Because what he means is that unlike William Samoei Ruto, who happened to be his competitor in this election, is a man who has embraced corruption. Is a man who came out to defend those who are corrupt when they have been arrested and taken to court. So Raila is simply saying that in as much we are celebrating this life, we have to remember some of the people who were against what Kibaki was championing for. And one of those people is his closest competitor in this August election. So Raila delivered a well-packaged information, and again, he used that opportunity to hit at the deputy president, so that the electorate can now see the difference between Mwai Kibaki and William Ruto. That if they need someone who can be like Mwai Kibaki, then that person can be found in Raila Ruto Odinga, a person who has been against corruption, and they have said Kibaki never embraced corruption. So that is the clear message Raila was sending out using this chance. So that is Raila Odinga. And the good thing about Raila, he also went further to point out in times when they disagreed with Mwai Kibaki. So he was saying the truth. No need kupaka mafuta kwa mgongo wa chupa. He was clear that there are times they were disagreeing, but again, they also disagreed to agree. They could disagree until they reach a point when they agree on how to tackle some issues. So he was clear. Now, as we continue with this discussion, before I forget, I know there are some viewers who have not yet subscribed. So my humble request, please consider subscribing so that any other time, once we release a video like this one, you will always get notified. And again, to all our channel subscribers and anyone who drop comment, I must say thank you so much for your unconditional support. Again, I'm requesting you to give this video thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend a video to more viewers. Back to our discussion. Now, according to Ruto, Kibaki was the best Kenyan president. And this is what he said, that Kibaki was the finest economist and the greatest president that Kenya has ever had. Now, what does it tell you about William Ruto remarks on Mwai Kibaki in the presence of President Uhuru Kenyatta, who happened to be his boss? So this was a clear indication that William Ruto was already hitting at his boss, President Uhuru Kenyatta. Because if you refer Mwai Kibaki as the best president that the country has ever had, what you are simply saying is that President Uhuru Kenyatta is not better than Kibaki. It means Kibaki performed well and Uhuru Kenyatta is failing. That is exactly what William Ruto was communicating to Kenyans and what he was telling Uhuru Kenyatta in the eye. But again, to appease Uhuru, he went further to say that President Uhuru Kenyatta is a good student of Mwai Kibaki. Now, after hitting hard at the president, Ruto now went further to pacify him by claiming that Uhuru borrowed a leaf from Kibaki. That Uhuru Kenyatta is a student of Kibaki. So that means whatever good things Uhuru has done, he learned from Kibaki. But again, he already said that no any other president. Now we have had 3, we have the 4th one, who happened to be Kibaki. Sorry, Uhuru. And according to Ruto, out of all these 4, Kibaki comes out as the best. So that means Uhuru failed, but again he's saying that Uhuru borrowed a leaf from Kibaki. But to some extent, he is saying the truth. Though the real truth here is that both Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto failed. Because in their first government and part of the second government, they were having 50-50. So in terms of corruption, they embraced corruption. When it came to development, these guys have been over-budgeting everything that they have done in terms of project. Anything was being doubled and tripled, all the way from SGR, Zikweni Barabara, and any other structure that has come out. So that means these 2 failed to build on what Kibaki had left. Yes, we can see some level of infrastructure, but the problem is these infrastructures zilikuwa over budgeted. So pesa zilikuwa zinaenda kwingine. So that is the truth here. So he's saying the truth, but again, he has been part of that problem. Because the government was 50-50. Ukienda kwa cabinet walikuwa nagawana nusu. When you come in terms of doing project, then that means these people were involving themselves equally in every project that took place in the country. Again, during Mwai Kibaki time, we saw so many factories and the companies coming out. But during the tenure of Uhuru and William Ruto, we have seen factories dying. People are closing factories. People are closing industries. People are closing businesses. So that means these 2 individuals are a disgrace to what Kibaki had built the Kenyan economy to. And now, Uhuru has challenged, not Uhuru, Ruto went on at his end of the speech to challenge by saying that he predict and foresee the next person who's going to form the government to be the shadow of Kibaki, that will be another Kibaki. Remember, he's on ballot as a presidential candidate. So what he's saying that is that in case he becomes the president, then he will be another Kibaki. But I have a question to ask here. Between William Ruto, who is on ballot as a presidential candidate, and Raila Odinga, who is also on ballot as a presidential candidate, who between these 2 can be closer to Kibaki? Kibaki who fought corruption, Kibaki who developed the country, Kibaki who introduced free or subsidized education in this country. Who? Think you can tell me in the comment section. But in my view, I don't think if Ruto can be that individual. Because we already said, he's a man who is defending the corrupt. He's a man who gave lip service. Kibaki never gave lip service. Kibaki was delivering what he had promised. But Ruto is a lip service leader. And again, in the coalition government, I think that during that time, there are so many things that Kenyans enjoyed. That means when Raila and Kibaki worked together, remember Kibaki had more numbers than, remember Raila had more numbers than Kibaki in the National Assembly. But you see, there are so many things that were delivered during that time. New constitution, the issue of county governments came in, and now people, you see, they're enjoying. And even more development came in. So you can see. But now compare that to during William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta government. Scandal after scandal. So that's the difference. So it tells you clear, the only person who can be compared, or a person who can be closely compared to Raila, to Mwai Kibaki, maybe in my view, it can be Raila Odinga. The other individual is completely an opposite of Mwai Kibaki. Even Uhuru Kenyatta is a complete opposite of Mwai Kibaki. Because when Mwai Kibaki came in, sioni kama watu wengi walikuwa kwa CRB, but as of now, like everyone is in CRB in the country. Borrowing. Watu wamekopa kwa kiasi ya kwamba they cannot pay. But during Kibaki, people were borrowing and they were easily getting to pay their money. Now, business are dying, and now those big boys are now the ones who are having a chance to do their business. But small people here, SMEs and other individuals are dying. Their businesses have died. I don't know what to think about this, but that's my comments as far as William Ruto and Raila Odinga's speech was concerned during the Kibaki State function at Nyayo Stadium. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening to me up to this far. May good God bless you and see you in our next video.